Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Lionsgate. Thank you all for tuning in, whether you're tuning in live or watching the replay. I'm really grateful to be with you in this moment, in this beautiful land of Mount Shasta. Coming here for my third Lionsgate transmission. I feel so blessed and so honored and so intrigued as to what wants to come through today. So, this is a special edition of the Living Transmission series, which I started a few months back. And today is going to be a little different because we're here in this beautiful sacred land. I'll be bringing through a transmission and sharing a little bit more about what I've been up to, but really wanting everyone to be able to feel the land, feel into this magnificent, potent portal that we are in, and yeah, to really kick us off, I thought I would go ahead and jump right into a transmission so that we can start to receive the frequencies of the land and what wants to come through. So it's going to take a moment to tune in to everyone that's tuned in here in this present moment, at whatever moment that may be. Thanking those energies for being here today. Any spirit guides or angels that want to join in on the party, inviting in the beings from Telos, inviting in Saint Germain and his Violet Flame. Mm. Thanking the elementals, the dragonflies, the bees that have been surrounding me all morning as I've prepared for today's transmission. Thanking the energy of the flowers, and of course, this beautiful, magnificent mountain that I am on. I'll be bringing through a light language transmission. If you are new to light language, know that it is a vibrational transmission. If you can, open your body to receive that vibration. You may notice messages come through for you. English may come through for me as well in translation. Whatever it is, know that it's in the support of the highest good for all. Yeah. Shukunya, good, good, good. Shikinya, mafuya. She. We are so pleased and delighted to be here with you today. Ukashinya makan parashukunti. Indeed, we are the ones Maria calls the ones. Shikinyama Tikia, her council, her guides, her spirit team, Anya Kushtikinyama, with her on this epic journey and adventure of life. Anya Kushtikinyama Kanti Nyaka. Indeed, we are now here with you as well on your epic journey of life. Anya Kushtikinyama Tikia Shukutia. And we are delighted to do so. Anya Kuya. Kia. We wish to bring you a transmission from the sacred lands of Telos inside Mount Shasta. Antiki Shiyama Kanti. If you do have a glass of water near you or some liquid that you could hold while you receive this transmission, Antikara Shukunti Yamaka. You may wish to infuse The translation you receive, Aranoshukun Tikiama, and that's what you wish to create, Antarashukun Tikia, into your water. Ukashi Yaman Tikia, Antarashi Tikia, Antarania, Ushta, Onya, New. New. Anya kushtiki amaka. Antara shukuntiki shi amma antara kuntiki anaka. Ashiki antara shukutia. Anara shiki amakantaranya. Ashiki tiamakushtiana. Oye, Nakashi, Hakantaranya Mokunya Kashiki Amaku Anyaku Tiki Amakashi Aranya Mokunya Ukushtikinya Antaran Tukushtikia Antarashia. The invitation is to relax the mind. Aranukushtiki nyama, release it from the need to know or understand. Aranakushtiki nyama ka, and if you can, lean into the knowing of trust. Aranukushtiki nyama karanyakuti, that your intelligent body will receive the frequencies it's meant to receive. Anakustiki nyaman tarashukutiki. Indeed, this gift is inherent in all. Anakustiki nyaman tikyashuku. And over thousands and thousands of years, that has found its way to suppression. Aniyamakushtiki antiki. Indeed, the forgetting was a part of the plan. Okutiki nyamantiki shiyama, to expand you into the fuller remembering of all of you. Take a moment to feel and breathe into that truth now. As you breathe in through the heart, the seat of the soul. Antarakunti Yamakashi. It is our intention Antarashukunti Kiyamaka, that this light language activation Antarashukuni Yama awakens the dormant DNA. Atarashukunti Yama, to awaken you to all of your psychic and intuitive abilities. Antarashakanti, indeed, it is greater than you could possibly imagine. Anarashukunti Nyamaka, and for those of you who have awoken to these gifts, Antarashukunti Nyamaka, know there is more for you to access. Ashakantara Nyamanti Nyamaka, feel it in your cells. Atarashanti nyamaka tiki nyaka, the knowing that you are the creator. Untukushtiki nyamaka ashiki nyantara. And anything you wish to access can be yours. Antarashu ya nakanti nyamaka, when you truly believe. Antarashu nyamaka. The invitation now is to bring into your heart that which you are calling in, ukushtikinyama, or you wish to create, narashakuntikiana, or simply feeling the embodiment of all that you are, ukushtikinyama, breathing into the expansion, knowing there can be more. Antarashu nyamakati. Shi Nyamaku Anarakuki Anakashi Nyamakunya Aranya. Breathing that in Anya Putian. Antarashanti Nyamakunya Kasha Nyakunyan. We have one more invitation for you in this moment. That you also bring sound to this creation that you hold in your heart. Antarashinya. Whatever comes through from the heart, through the voice. Antarashakati Nyamaka. Trust that it is perfect for you in this moment. Ant unyama shiki nyamaka. You may find yourself speaking light language. Okun tiki nyama. Or drifting towards a tone. Akaranuk unyama shi nya. Or perhaps even your native language, speaking out loud that which you are calling in. Untarashi nyamakashi kiatara. Indeed, everything begins with the thought, ashukuntiki nyama, but we make manifest with the word, antiki nyamaka, and we amplify the power of that, ukunyamashi kiakanta, through our sound. Antarashukuntiki niamakatiki. Indeed, there was a time on this planet akushtiki niamakaranyaku, where everything was generated with sound. Anyamukushtikia, this world. Anukunyamakashi, created with sound. Aranyashukuntiki niamaka. The invitation is to tap into that remembering now. Ukushtiki nyama, and allow the sound to flow through you. Unya, nya, ra, nya, 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 If you could imagine that it is possible for you to create with sound. What would you wish to create? May also find yourself reflecting in the ways you've utilized sound to create things you do not desire. Indeed, it is all part of a greater plan to bring you into the full realization of who you truly are. Connecting with that and calling in all dimensions of us to reignite those gifts. We no doubt have perfected through many, 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 many dimensions of us. Listen to the whispers of your soul now. The dimensions of you. Unya kantini muku unya antishi akantarahinya. Ashiki antikenia muntikian tarania. Ashinia putiana. Antarnikuya. Notice what you're feeling in the body. Antarania. Anchoring that in the water that you hold. Antarashinya maka. Taking a moment to drink that in. Untarushkuntinya man tarak antikia narashikinya maku. It has been a great honor being here with you today. Antarashukuntinya makashi antarati. And know that these codes that we have transmitted to you today antarashikinya makantarashi, will continue over time. Anti shikia man turukuntikia. We encourage you to pay attention to the signs Ashikuntinya maka, of all sorts, Ukuntinyama, in all the ways the universe wishes to speak to you, Anti Tiama Shukuntia, to confirm to you, Aranyamokushtiana. Yes, dear one, we hear you. Antarashikinyamaka. That which you desire is already yours. Uyanakashi Amakutiaka. Ukanta Shikanti Kunyak Tara Ashinya Shuku Antinya Nia Ashinya Antaranya. And with we are complete. Antikinya Mapushtia. Unya and well, wow. Just give me these moments to come back. Beautiful blessings by the wind. Hopefully, it's not too distracting with the mic. Yeah, wow. I wasn't exactly sure all that they would want to bring through today. I have been receiving little drips here and there, and um, yeah, thank you to my guides, the ones, beings that supported that transmission. I have my dragon crystal here that I got here in Mount Shasta, supporting that transmission, as well as this beautiful orb. It doesn't has such a nice feel to it. Whew. Well, how was that for y'all? I'm going to check the chat and see what's going on in the live stream. Blessings from BC. Welcome. Thank you to have you here. Di and Pat, love it. Thank you for tuning in from Colorado. Uh, so, for those of you who've also been part of Kelly Kolodny's Lionsgate transmission this week, it has been such a beautiful transmission. I'm so grateful that they decided to stream that live for us as well. And the transmissions today around presence is something that I felt like I've been practicing and grateful to be facilitated in as I was preparing for today. There are many variables when you try and do a live stream outside that get quite interesting. But I like to live on the edge, so we got a little wind, we got a lot of sun, managed to prop up an umbrella somehow so that I could get my laptop in shade so it wouldn't overheat. And one of the participants in Kelly Kolodny's live stream today had asked a question about the delays and the distractions that some people had experienced as they were traveling to Boone, North Carolina, where she's hosting the event also in person. And it was such a beautiful response from Kelly and absolutely mind blowing to me because I had decided to draw 3 cards from my favorite Isis Oracle deck for today's transmission. And one of the 3 cards that I drew today that I want to share with y'all was the Pyramid of Light. And this card is all about psychic protection, not from a place in my world anyway of needing to be protected from something or against something, but more cultivating my own energy. But it was essentially the exact same response that Kelly gave today in the transmission as to why these things might happen. And I'm just going to read a small snippet of this card from Elena Fairchild. It says, as a being growing in significant light, darker energies can become more attracted to you. There is nothing to fear and only more mastery and awareness of the power and protection of divine love to experience. Here is guidance on the skills that you have within you, how to deal with any undesired interference. The Pyramid of Light confirms that energies have been causing interference with your path, and it is time now to end that interference with love and compassion. This oracle brings you confirmation that you are growing spiritually, and as such, there are higher levels of responsibility and skill required of you to continue to thrive and blossom to even deeper places of spiritual expansion. These new levels will feel joyful to you as they bring you greater personal mastery and freedom from fear. And just to continue to expand on what Kelly was answering in this question, is that the more light that we embody, that we bring in, the more possibility there can be for us to attract what we might call a dark energy. And this week for me was no different. I am back in my motorhome here in the United States, and I have been so blessed and grateful for all of the places this motorhome has taken me, including to here to Mount Shasta. And as I was on my way up the mountain this week, for the first time ever, Ad Astra, or as I lovingly call her, Addie, decided to stall out on me in the middle of the road. And so I thought, well, this is not convenient. I composed myself. I took deep breaths. I jumped on AI. What do I do? I let it rest for about 10 minutes. I was able to start her back up again and then move her to a pull off on the side of the road so I was not blocking the middle of the road. And I contemplated, what was this wanting to show me? What was the energy wanting to show me with bringing me here? Really a specific reason why I was at where I was at. And it just so happened that there was a Wi-Fi signal at that point in the mountain, which doesn't happen in all of the places here on the mountain. And so I was able to get the work done that I needed to get done for a couple of days while I managed to find what my next steps or options would be. I really wanted to be on the top of this mountain for today. And I surrendered. I surrendered in trust, and I said, if this is what it's meant to be, then this is what it's meant to be. I'll walk the land. I'll see what guides me and see if there's a place that calls me for this transmission. And right across from the street where I was pulled over, um, there was this massive rock, just massive, jutting out of the ground. And there's a famous rock here that people like to connect with called the Ascension Rock. It kind of was similar to that, but there were no other giant boulders or medium-sized boulders or small boulders anywhere in the vicinity. Just this giant rock, kind of like this, but obviously not that big. And so I connected with it. I felt the portal within it. I felt the connection with it. I felt the blessing of this live stream, and I heard not here, not meant to be here. And so last night, a girlfriend of mine came to visit, and she took me up to the top of the mountain for sunset. And right as I arrived, I had connected with a couple of friends that I'd met here from Lionsgate's past. And turns out one of the guys that was with them was a mechanic. And another guy had the machine that you need to plug into the car to know what's going on with the car. And so talked to him a little bit about what was going on. And I had run it a couple of times. It seemed better when I tried it the following days. And he basically gave me a little pep talk as a confidence to know that I could try and get up here and take it slow. And if anything happened, I could call him. And he was just like 10 minutes away. So, alas, I woke up at dawn and I came here this morning. She did amazing coming up here. And I felt so much blessing from that opportunity. And when I drew this card for the group, I had a feeling that this might be something that also would be supportive for people in bringing in the pyramid of light when we feel like we have these distractions or things maybe detouring us from what it is that we want to be doing with our path. And so it's really quite simple. It's really surrounding yourself with a pyramid of light. And, the Oracle deck offers some color in white and neon purple, but I really love guiding people to connect with the colors that they intuitively want to go to when they surround themselves, whether it's with an orb or with the pyramid of light, and really allowing ourselves to give that energy of the pyramid and of the light to wrap us in the knowing of who we are, what we came here to do, and releasing us from anything that might be keeping us from that or detracting us from that. So I'm just going to see, there was one part here I highlighted in case this is supportive for y'all as well. This is an affirmation or something that you can recite alongside of this. And I'll put this in the text description down below once I'm done with the recording today. As a sovereign being of light, I now claim full ownership of my energy field, and any being or entity that is draining my energy or fueling me with fear no longer has my permission to be in my energy field. You must leave, beloveds. I honor you and I wish you well, but you cannot stay here anymore and you cannot return. Of my own free will and through divine grace and the protection of unconditional love, this is now so. So be it. And you may choose to repeat that a few different times if it feels necessary, knowing that it'll grow stronger with each time that you recite it. And then once you feel good about that invocation and that declaration for yourself, you can follow it with, I ask that this pyramid be held in place for the coming week or for however long serves my highest good. I program it to deflect negative energies and allow negative energies to continue to leave my body, mind, and energy field. I also program it to allow positive energies to enter and remain in my body, mind, and energy field. Through the grace of divine and my own free will, so be it. So that was a super powerful reminder. I just loved the overlap from Kelly's transmission. This was actually the first card that I drew. It says Scales of Balance, Ancient Tantra of the Soul. And this is really, I think, a beautiful sentiment for the Lionsgate portal. Some people will say, well, there's people are drawing significance in places where there's some skepticism, right? And I get it. We don't have the same calendar system that they did back in ancient Egypt when they were celebrating and honoring the Lionsgate portal. And I thought today, rather than me explaining what the Lionsgate portal is, which perhaps some of you know or are not as familiar with, I thought it would be way more fun to invite y'all to connect with the energy of a lion. This is something that we've been doing a lot with Kelly Kolodny, preparing for the Lionsgate, as she's really connected to the white lion But I'm just curious, if you were to connect with the essence and the energy of a lion, what qualities come to mind for you? You know, what do you feel in your body? Like, if you could imagine yourself as a lion, can you imagine how you would walk, what you might think? You know, what when you think of a lion and the qualities that it possesses, what comes to mind? In Leo season, we often connect the heart of the Leo lion, Regulus, with a symbolism, the courage, the heart, just like in The Wizard of Oz. The lion that didn't have courage, he needed the heart to feel that courage. And so, really, the invitation that I want to give to you while we contemplate what it is that we're celebrating and calling in with this Lionsgate is to know that we have the ability to focus our intention for those creations. I think it's interesting that, over the last however many years, the attention on Lionsgate has grown and grown, and I don't believe that's by any mistake. I believe that we have coded these things from the past to have their own new version of relevance in present day. And so there's something to be said about the collective consciousness that are tuning into the Lionsgate frequencies and what that can be doing for humanity right now. And this is something that Kelly is guiding us in so beautifully. And something that I think that, the symbolism of the eight can also support us with. If you flip it on its side, I'm drawing the infinity in the air here. And what happens when we draw the infinity in the air, I'm often, rotating while I'm doing transmissions in the infinity as well, is we're pulling in that energy, almost kind of like a lasso, or you can imagine what are those things called where you throw it and it comes back to you? I can't remember. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But every time we come back to the middle, we come back to the center. And that's something that we'll be guided in later this evening with Kelly into the 0 point. And so I imagine it's going to have to do something with collapsing into the center of that infinity symbol. So infinity representing, all that's available to us. And then how are we calling that in and bringing our focus into the center? And so when I saw this card, the scales of balance, that's exactly what I thought. You know, it's talking a lot about the balance of the masculine and the feminine energies, which I think is so crucial right now. And we all have heard many stories about the rising of the divine feminine as critical to the transformation of humanity. And I think there's a component where we're also having to bring ourselves into greater honor of the divine masculine so that the divine feminine can rise even fuller in her expression, knowing that this is not dependent on gender. These are energies that are within all of us. So perhaps taking a moment now to feel into that harmonious balance, the scales of balance. What are things that might be bringing yourself a little bit out of balance that could use some love or release of old stories? Perhaps there's a desire to bring more balance into the body or the mind. And you may even find yourself energetically tapping into this infinity symbol, whether you're rocking or drawing it, tracing it on your palm, or really just holding it solidly in your mind's eye, feeling the support of that energy and how it can call things in, bring it into you. Hmm. And along those lines, the third card that I drew today for our transmission is the Eye of Horus, Awakening Divine Perception. I love this card. It's all about the gifts that we have. This is partly what was coming through in the transmission earlier, and specifically around divine sight and how that's awakening and expanding and growing now for all of us, even more. Says you have much divine support and protection so that you may grow your abilities and serve others with your divine gifts. Trust your perception and know that you are divinely protected. And this is a interesting card for me. I've often said in the past that it's not as common for me to see. I will often say that I have a vision, but it's through felt sense or knowing that I have these visions. Whenever I close my eyes, whether I'm doing a journey or um, wanting to visualize something, it's for me, it's always black. Um, Perhaps maybe sometimes there's a light color orb that comes in, but it doesn't matter for me. I still see myself. Like, so when I'm not at Mount Shasta, I'm often journeying here and going into the center of the mountain, and I can feel it in every cell of my body. And so the invitation is to know that there are many ways that we can see, and know that the ways that you see, whether it's through hearing or knowing, tasting, smelling, that it's expanding for you. And there's a certain line in here that I really loved that I want to share with you. It has to do with the confirmation that this is bringing and how it's looking out for us and guiding us. And it'll tell us everything that we need to know in a timely manner. And I love leaning into the trust of that. It's something that I really leaned in strongly this week with my motorhome, trusting that everything was exactly as it was meant to be. You know, I didn't exactly know in the moment why there, why this was happening at all, but it didn't matter. The why, question of why can be so sticky sometimes because our mind always wants to figure out the how. But when we release and surrender to the greater plan that we might not have, well, that we chose to forget, I will say, there's a reason for that too. And as soon as I surrendered and released, the message was to rest. The message was slow down. And so that's exactly what I did. I mean, I literally didn't go anywhere. I mean, I walked around a little bit where I was at, but that's the great thing of driving your home. If it gets stuck, well, I just made dinner. Like I'm just living in my house. So it was easy in that case. And for that, I'm grateful. I am so, so grateful for all of the ease and the blessings and the ways that things magically float to me. And I invite more of that in all the time because it's so much fun to play with. So I'll just read this invocation for the Eye of Horus to close that, the three cards out. It says, Eye of Horus, Eye of the Sun, let my divine vision fully come. I call upon your protection divine. May my gifts awaken in service and shine. Help me see through your eye so bright, beloved Horus, Lord of Light. I see accurately, without distortion or fear. I am gifted with vision, pure and clear. I'm just going to show you guys that card. That's powerful. For those who might not be familiar, Horus is depicted as a falcon and also as the open eye. So sometimes you'll see the closed eyes, the eye of Ra. And I've actually been tapping into the energy of falcon um, a lot more in recent days, particularly. I met with a psychic medium, medical intuitive, I should say, this week, and she suggested in support of my body and some of the things that I'm moving through and learning how to bring into greater alignment to envision myself as a bird, as a falcon or an eagle soaring high above, feeling the freedom of the wind carrying me, following the flows of the way that the air wants to move, feeling the breeze drift through my feathers, and really feeling that expansion in the body. Yesterday, a sister of mine led me in a breathwork session that really had me tapping into the breath of the bird as well. You know, they have such a capacity to bring in air as they're flying. And so I was imagining myself as that as well and feeling that expansion in my lungs, which translated to expansion in my back, shoulders, my upper chest. So perhaps that's something that you might want to play with as well. One of my favorite things being here on top of the world, connecting with the birds, their sound, their movement, what messages that they're here to bring us. Hmm. And yeah, I've been so grateful to have the opportunity to be back here in the United States, again, being back in my home, connecting with friends, new friends, and soaking my body in some hot springs, one of my favorite things to do. And now I will be preparing to return home to Burning Man in a couple of weeks. This will be the 11th year that I have been to the playa, and I'm excited to have a new experience this year, joining a new camp that facilitates workshops around authentic relating, conscious connection. And yeah, I'm going to have a whole new experience on the other side of the playa this year. So looking forward to that and what new opportunities that wants to bring me. I'll be facilitating a couple of workshops myself, doing a little morning movement to get the body flowing and feeling good, and also teaching and facilitating a little bit around sacred relating, which I love to do. So just going to check the chat because y'all are active in here. Thank you so much. Hi, Karen. Grateful for you to be here. Oh, thank you for all the love here in the chat. Leslie, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Some themes of self trust and courage, being unapologetic as fuck. Yeah, I love that, Marina. Luxury, generosity. That's how she was tapping into the lion. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Jin is saying thank you for the invitation. Yes, grateful. Grateful you can feel my positive spirit. And here, maybe you guys want to see my traveling home? See if I can pan over here. Where is it? Can you see the little purple home right in there next to the semi truck? On the back of my motorhome, it says Ad Astra per Aspera, which is the state motto of Kansas, where I first left 16 years ago when I decided to become a full time traveler. And so it was a nod to my time there, but also I love the sentiment behind the statement, which is Latin that translates through adversity to the stars. So this particular motorhome is wrapped in the galaxy. I also had my friends draw stars that I put up into the galaxy as well. And there's little symbols that are meaningful for me in there. And I'm just so grateful every time I get to reunite with her, even though I also am really enjoying traveling abroad and feeling all of the different locations that the universe wants to call me to. So I am so grateful that I could be with y'all today for this transmission. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. I will just leave you with a few more. I feel my guides coming back in. Sentiments of light language. You may wish to hold your water or drink your water through this, feeling the gratitude I have in my heart as I share this with you. Antishikin yaman tukun yamaku. Anashikan tukun yamakati ya tarashuku. Anya kashi anta tikamukushti yaku aranyokushti nyamakantara ashi anya. Blessings to you all. May you enjoy this portal that spans not just on the 8/8 day, but throughout the next couple of weeks in August. We have a very potent eclipse coming up on the 12th. We have 6 planets that'll be in alignment and the Perseid meteor shower. So that is going to be an epic night to connect with the galaxy, the stars, and our star family. So looking forward to doing that also from the top of Mount Shasta now that my motorhome made it up here and I might not have to go to the mechanic. So yay for that. And I thank you all for being with me on this special edition of Living Transmissions. I will be back next month on the second Saturday uh, to share more about the magic and miracles that is my life, which, I'll just be getting back from Burning Man. So there are going to be some fun stories. I don't typically share my experiences from Burning Man, but I have a feeling there's going to be some interesting stories that want to come through, and y'all are going to be the first ones to know. So thank you all for tuning in. I'll give you one last little glimpse here. This beautiful mountain, beautiful flowers. Thank you to the bees and the trees. Hmm. Much love, everyone. Thank you so much.